Excellent. It looks like everyone can hear me. Thank you so much for letting me know. And welcome. Good afternoon and welcome to the Digital Marketing Strategy Bootcamp webinar. My name is Shawnee Sutton, and I am the enrollment manager here at Georgetown University for our non-credit professional certificate programs. Today, I am joined by my colleagues, Jeffrey Warner, who's the Senior Director of Professional Certificates and Development, Stuart Brown, I'm sorry. Stuart Brown is the lead lead subject matter expert and instructor of the Thinking to Thriving course that we will talk about later today. And Lindsay Thomas, who is the Director of Integrated Career Development. And Lindsay will discuss career services as a part of the boot camp with you all later today. Jeffrey Warner will go over an overview of our format for the program, as well as talk to you all about some of the modules within the program. Stuart will talk to you about Thinking to Thrive. And again, Lindsay will discuss the career services. And later I will come in and talk to you all about registration, tuition options, and we will have a Q&A session at the end. So please feel free to enter any questions that you have for us in the question panel, and we will get to those questions at the end. Again, thank you for joining us, and I would let Jeff start. Jeff, you're on mute. I don't think we can't hear you.
There we go. I was just saying thank you, Shawnee, for introducing me, and welcome to all of our guests who are taking their lunch hour to find out about the certificate in digital marketing strategy at Georgetown University. The first thing I'd like to go over is what is a boot camp at Georgetown, and why does it matter to a professional learner like you? The boot camps at Georgetown University are bundled educational experiences specifically designed for professional learners. It includes XBUS 950, which is the digital marketing strategy course. And in this course, we'll go over the curriculum in a few minutes. You will actually learn the components of strategy, Google Analytics, CRM, and you will conclude your studies with a practical exercise and a capstone. Then you will have XBUS 900, Thinking to Thrive. And this is such an important part, and this really distinguishes what we do at Georgetown from many of the other options. As a digital marketing strategist, and again, this is you're learning to be a strategist, you will face complex problems. You will need to be able to think analytically and rationally and take very complex problems and break them down into component parts so that you can optimize the solutions. And that's what Stuart Brown teaches, and he will be on in a few minutes to go over that curriculum. And then another part of the Georgetown experience that I think is very unique is career services. We have Lindsay Thomas, and Lindsay is dedicated and focused entirely on promoting and helping our professional learners take what they learn in digital marketing strategy and leverage that into a new position, or leverage that to, again, increase your current position at a current employer. But Lindsay will be there in a few minutes. Next slide, please. This is a very, very exciting time to go into digital marketing. Let me give you some statistics. In fact, 5 minutes before we came on to this webinar today, I went into LinkedIn and I did a search for digital marketing. Today, right now, within 10 minutes ago, there were over 50,000 jobs listed nationally. Imagine that, 50,000 jobs listed in the United States today that need some component of digital marketing. I was looking at the Wall Street Journal last week, and I came across this article about the importance of digital marketing. And this is absolutely incredible. Quote, and this is from the CMO, that's the Chief Marketing Officer survey from Deloitte Consulting. Quote, companies have boosted the digital marketing spending an average of 16%, and digital marketing now makes up 58% of total marketing budgets from most corporations. You could not be coming into the field of digital marketing at a better time than today. And again, as we look towards a post-pandemic environment and a post-pandemic economy, we can even see for the upcoming holidays how many of the retailers are really relying on the transformation of how they approach the market, the digital transformation and the inclusion of digital marketing strategies. Again, when you read, I invite you, and this is really important, go into LinkedIn this afternoon or this evening when you have time, and look at some of the jobs that are listed in LinkedIn or Indeed.com. And you can see that they don't only want knowledge of digital marketing, but also critical skills included critical thinking, analysis, analytical thinking, problem solving, communication skills. So this is really important in the market today, that you differentiate yourself when you go looking for that new job. And our curriculum at Georgetown is designed just to do that, to separate you and differentiate you, and so the prospective employers know that you're the #1 employee to fill out that position. Next slide, please. So what is the live online experience bootcamp at Georgetown? What does that mean? Well, a live online experience means that you will experience a 12-week intensive course of study culminating in a certificate from Georgetown University. The experience would be much like you're experiencing today. You will have face-to-face discussions with your professors on Friday evening and Saturday mornings till noon. You will have dialogue with your peers in your class. And again, I'm going to let Stuart talk about this. Given that we are live online, we have students, professional learners coming into our certificates, not only from across the United States, but from around the world. So you will be studying with peers in a global environment, which makes the Georgetown environment so much richer. You will interact frequently. You will have interaction with your peers as well as your instructor. And what's key here, and when you differentiate us from other courses of study, the maximum class size that you will have in a Georgetown boot camp is 24 students. Now that's really important. This is not a MOOC. This is not where you have 100 or 200 or 300 students. There are 24 students in a Georgetown boot camp, and that allows for a very high level of peer-to-peer interaction and attention from your instructor. We believe that is crucial to a quality educational experience. Next slide, please. Again, I want to emphasize this, and I want to make it very clear how you will experience this online educational experience. There will be live lectures, there will be discussions, there will be activities, there will be connections between you and the other peers in the class. Again, maximum class size is 24. We took a year to design this live online experience. And we took a year to make sure this is as comparable as possible to sitting in a classroom at Georgetown University. And more importantly, we have heard from our professional learners that the importance of networking and building social connections is extremely important. It's important in the physical classroom, and it's important online. So there will be activities where you will be able to build your network and build those social connections. Next slide, please. So what will you learn in digital marketing strategy? Again, this program of study is all about learning the fundamentals of digital marketing and learning to be a strategist. You will develop digital marketing strategies and understand, in fact, you will study 10 different strategies that are in use today. You will understand how to use and deploy digital marketing tools, including Google Analytics. You will understand how to leverage digital tactics to achieve business objectives. You will calculate the return on investment. And again, if you read the Wall Street Journal, and if you don't, I encourage you to do so. What you will see, and also you will be supplied with this link at the end of the presentation, go into the Deloitte CMO survey. And in that survey, you will see it's now more important than ever for marketers to prove to CEOs the return on investment of marketing dollars. And in this course of study, you will learn how to calculate that return on investment and justify budgets and spending in a digital marketing strategy. Next slide, please. Now, there are 5 modules, and the next couple of slides go into detail over each of the modules and the information that's going to be covered. I'm not going to take a lot of time today to go into specific curricular aspects, but let me briefly go over and explain each module. Module 1 is 3 weeks, Introduction to Digital Marketing Strategy. In this module, in the 3 weeks, it lays the foundation of digital marketing. What is digital marketing? What are the components? How do companies use digital marketing? You will be looking at case studies, and you will be learning the vocabulary and building the foundation for the rest of the boot camp. Module 2, Applied Marketing Analytics and Reporting. Again, this is a very important, students. I know many of you are looking forward to this module because we take an in-depth look at Google Analytics. So this is the module where you begin to understand how to read Google Analytics and use Google Analytics to formulate and execute strategies. Then in module 3, we do CRM and database marketing. Again, identifying markets. How do you then use databases to select the appropriate target market to reach out to and to target in your digital marketing strategy? Then in we go into digital marketing strategies for 3 weeks. And I said in this module, we cover up 10 different unique strategies that large corporations use today to employ a digital marketing strategy. Then what's most important is the capstone. So you've taken everything that you've learned in the prior 10 weeks and apply it to simulation. So we have a marketing simulation where you will be able to go in and, again, formulate your strategy, test your strategies, test the return on investment, test the outcomes, and then you'll be able to take this capstone as proof of what you have learned at Georgetown University. So there are 5 modules. It begins from laying a foundation to the very last module, which tests your ability to then actually create strategies and evaluate the effectiveness of those strategies. Next slide, please. I'd invite you to go into the website. All of these learning objectives are there. Again, Shawnee will be sending this PowerPoint out. So I'm not going to take a lot of time to read through this because I know many of you have other questions. And I want to get to my colleagues, Stuart and Lindsay, as well as Shawnee, who's going to tell you how to register. But here you can see the 5 modules and the learning objectives for each. Again, I want to tell you that we took over a year to develop this curriculum. We literally read thousands of job postings. And in reading those job postings, we wanted to extract the critical skills and knowledge that will differentiate our certificate completers in the workforce with those 50,000 jobs that are open today. Next slide, please. And we'll keep going to the next. So what do you need? Again, if you're participating in today's webinar, you probably have all the equipment you need. We ask, that you do have high bandwidth connectivity, that you do have a camera and microphone. I know some students say, well, do I really need to have a camera? And the answer is absolutely yes. Because remember, we are replicating the experience of the classroom with live online technology. So your ability to engage in meaningful conversations, in debates and case study reviews and presentations is absolutely core to what we're trying to establish here. So yes, the camera, audio, good bandwidth is all very important. Next slide. And with that, I'm going to turn it over to my dear colleague, Stuart Brown. Mr. Brown.
Thank you very much, Jeff. I appreciate it. And hello, everybody. My name is Stuart Brown, and I'm the instructor, and I was part of the team that helped develop Thinking to Thrive, this part of the boot camp. But I'd like to start off by asking you a question. Have you ever seen someone in your organization or in public life make a terrible decision? Have you ever made a decision that you later regretted yourself? And the answer to both of those is probably yes, particularly if you live anywhere close to Washington, D.C. So we at Georgetown know that everybody makes decisions every day. So we're not going to teach you how to make decisions, but we're going to provide you with processes and tools and methodologies to make better decisions and to understand better why the guy sitting across the table is making the decisions he is. And that's how Thinking to Thrive came to be born. It's a fun course. Next slide, please. So we designed this to be a survey course. We meet for approximately an hour and 15 minutes over 12 weeks. And there's a lot of material to cover. You know, we cover roughly 4,000 years of human decision making. And we want to introduce the students to the various decision making processes, methodologies, and tools, and show them how these different processes can fit together and combine to make better decisions. Our teaching process includes lecture, reading, video, podcast, seminar discussion, computer simulation, role play, and case study. And we are live online. This is in many ways better than being in the classroom because it's a concentrated session. You can do it obviously from any location you want. The people who have been in my class now, well, let's see, this will be the 5th time we're going to be teaching it. In the previous 4, we've had people as far west as the Philippines and as far east as Europe. We've had several participants from South America, from Canada, from all over the United States. So again, it's a truly global platform. And as I said, we meet 12 times for an hour and 15 minutes, and there's approximately an hour and a half of prep time for each class. We try and keep it as tight as we possibly can because we know that you've got other commitments. I was an adult learner myself. I've been through several courses at Georgetown. I got my MBA at NYU, quote unquote, part-time. I'm sympathetic. Next slide, please. So these are the learning objectives, and I'm going to take just a couple of seconds to go over them because I think they're important. These are the things that we hold out as our basic goals. Discover and overcome mental blocks in your thinking and judgment. Apply analytical thinking to break down complex information into fundamental parts, a very key part of the decision processes. Apply critical thinking to evaluate and interpret information and develop sound judgment. Identify opportunities for innovation and growth by leveraging your thinking skills to gain improved insight. And again, this is not only the innovation piece, but the strategic thinking piece. Recognize multiple ways to solve problems and embrace divergent thinking. The guy sitting across the table may have a totally different process than you. It's good to know what you need to know. Recognize the importance of ethics to determine what is right and how values determine what is important in your decision making. Ethics is always part of the decision process, just not often called out. Next slide, please. And this is the content. We're going to start out talking about the natural decision process. That's the one that you're hardwired with. That's the one that makes you duck when somebody throws a rock at you, or turn and run when a bear bursts out of the woods. It's great for stuff like that, but it can sometimes lead you astray in more complex decisions. So we took that and we objectified it and turned it into a tool called the decision grid, which is a very handy little event. And we'll talk some detail about that. We also go back, of course, to the scientific method of decision making, which is probably the oldest process. We bring in the military decision making process, and right about now, a lot of you are saying, but I'm not in the military, I don't need that. And the answer is the military actually has spent more time thinking about how to make decisions and how to do them right. They don't always do it, but the answer is they've got a great process. And we've adapted this. I was a consultant for many years in Washington to many of our commercial clients, and you'll find it very, very handy. Then we go into the thinkings: critical thinking, design thinking, inductive thinking, deductive thinking, abductive thinking, innovative thinking, and strategic thinking. All of these have a place. All of these are tools and processes that you can use. And if you focus on it, you'll make better decisions. Again, we talk about ethics and decision making. We have a number of tools, the decision grid that I mentioned previously, a little thing called the event waterfall, which is very handy for group meetings when you want to test your decision in a wargaming kind of thing. We go into the environmental scan, give you some formats for that. We talk about analytical frameworks, risk analysis, and cost benefit analysis. Fairly lightly on the last two. I am an MBA kind of guy and spent 45 years in banking. So there's a lot there, but we give you enough so that you can sit at the table and use these tools. And then we talk about testing decision-making before execution. That's wargaming, how to do that. And then we, at the end, tie it all together for the best possible decision. Next slide, please. And now I'd like to introduce you to Lindsay. Lindsay, are you there? Lindsay's the best
Hello.
part of this whole thing. There we go. Okay.
Oh, it's all good. It's all a good part. Thank you, Stuart. As they mentioned, I am the Director of Integrated Career Development for our boot camps. At the School of Continuing Studies, our students have a wide variety of professional goals, from making a career change to individuals hoping to move up in their current role. And I think you'll find that career services cater to each of those populations. My job as the Director of Career Development is to bridge all the wonderful things that you're learning in the classroom from Larry and Stuart with your professional goals. So to that end, the most important service that I offer are one-on-one coaching appointments. So whether you're looking to move up in your current organization or you'll be conducting a job search, I'll be a resource for you through every step of those processes. In our first meeting, I'll take a look at your background to draw out your most relevant professional experiences and skills. We'll create a cohesive narrative around the prior experiences that you're bringing, the skills that you're learning in the certificate, and then where you hope to go professionally. If you're looking for a new position, I set up some online resources to help you get to know the industry, and we'll develop both a proactive and reactive job search plan. I will help you identify individuals in your network to reach out to, companies of interest, and some common job databases, as well as networking groups. And together we'll polish your resumes and cover letters with tips and tricks to help you stand out, conduct mock interviews, and discuss how to handle salary negotiations and offers so that you can get the best possible package from that. If you're looking to move up in your current organization, then we'll assess the promotion process at your current company, create goals about what kind of promotion you're looking for, whether that's a title change, a change in responsibilities, moving up to an existing position, or kind of crafting a new position for yourself. And we'll work on making that case for promotion to your boss. As a candidate, regardless of which career path you're hoping to choose, it takes a lot of effort to make that change. So my job is to help you put your best foot forward and to coach you through that process. And I think the real value add is that individualized look at what your professional strengths are, what you're bringing to the table, and how to communicate that value to others. In addition to career coaching, I also offer employer information sessions. So these are either hour-long presentations where the employer, either a hiring manager or recruiter, will come in to talk about available roles, and you'll have the opportunity to meet with them and ask questions. And then we also do informational interviews where we'll have a recruiter come in and schedule 10 to 15-minute conversations where you can talk to them a little bit more about your background and the available roles that they have. I also offer weekly professional development workshops where we go over a wide variety of topics like networking, conducting a job search, salary negotiations, where to find information on kind of a typical salary for what you're looking for. And then we also do industry and alumni panels. Georgetown has a huge alumni network, so we are always having speakers come in to talk about kind of what they've done after they've graduated and to kind of offer advice and things like that to current students. In addition to that, you also have access to a system called Handshake. This is a university-wide system, so it's really nice in that there are several different career centers across Georgetown, and they will all post events in that system, so you'll be able to attend events from the various schools as well, both employer and alumni events that they are hosting. And in that system, there are also job postings and contact information for recruiters that you can utilize. And the best part, I know that, as you're going through the boot camp, especially if you have a current position, you're juggling a lot at one time. So you do have access to career services for a full year. So if you're someone who maybe wants to start on the application of those skills into your career growth after the boot camp, then you do have a full year to utilize these services. And with that, I will hand it back to Shani.
Thank you, Lindsay. So I'm going to discuss registration, registration and tuition options. So in front of you, you see the dates, the days that actually the classes will run. Fridays, you will have the live session from 6:30 to 7:30, and then you will have your student prep time from 7:30 to 9:30 p.m. On Saturdays, you will have your live session from 9 a.m. to 11 a.m., and then you'll have your lunch break. You would then attend your Thinking to Thrive live online session from 12 to 1:15, and 1:30 to 2:30 will be your study time, and there will be office hours. All of the time is Eastern time, and the spring 2022 classes began January 14th, 2022, not 2021, 2022. The digital marketing strategy bootcamp tuition is $4,995. All course materials are included. And as it states, you will receive your certificate of completion awarded to you once you have successfully completed all the requirements for the course. For tuition, we do have some discount options and we also have some funding options. Just note that our programs do not qualify for any federal aid or financial aid, so we've tried to do what we could to make our programs affordable for our students. The first tuition option that you have, we accept employer education training benefits. So that's like your tuition assistance program with your agency. And that kind of goes in with the federal agency training funds. So what you would do is you would actually note that a third party will be paying for your tuition at registration when you check out. For the employer education training budget that is for non-government agencies, you will actually submit a form that we have, which is called the intent to pay. And on that form, you will indicate how much your employer will be covering, whether it's 100% or 50% or whatever the amount they will be covering. And our student accounts manager will work with your agency in regards to payment and invoicing them directly. For the federal agency training funds, this is for government agencies. We accept the standard form 182, SF 182. And on that form, you indicate as well how much your agency will be covering, and our student accounts department will work with your agency directly in regards to payment. For Georgetown employees, Georgetown also offers a tuition assistance program, and for Georgetown employees, Georgetown will cover 90% of your tuition, and the employee will cover the remaining 10%. Go Army Ed and Active Duty National Guard, we accept the funds from them. You will work with our student accounts department to actually set everything up in regards to payment and receiving benefits from that as well. As the same thing with Army Reserve soldiers and Army civilians, you will work directly with our student accounts department for that as well. Just to note, we are working on getting this certificate approved for VA benefits. That is for the post 9/11 GI Bill. We are working with the VA to get this certified so that in the future, VA students will be able to use their benefits towards this certificate. It's not approved yet, but that is something that is in the works. And the most popular funding option is our interest-free payment plan. So for our programs, if your tuition is $4,000 or more, you will be able to split your payment up into four equal payments of 25%. So you would do your first payment at registration, and then you will work with student accounts to set up your payments from there. It will be 30 days, 60 days, and 90 days. So it will be three additional payments of 25% after your first initial payment. Private education loans, students do take out private education loans. Sallie Mae is the most popular one that we have. But we also have a list of the private education loan providers that we have worked with on our website. Register for courses over time is something that this program would not really fall under because it's just one course that you have to register for. However, for other programs, that have multiple courses. Students have a max year of 2 years to complete a certificate, and that way they can space out their registration for the courses for financial reasons. And our tuition discounts. We don't have them all listed here. However, we have a few discounts that we offer. We offer a 10% discount. And let me just note that all of our discounts are 10% and you cannot combine them. So if you fall under several categories for our discounts, you will have to select which one you want to use. Excuse me, my voice is going in and out. I apologize. So for Georgetown alumni, and that is anyone that's completed a degree program or certificate program at Georgetown University, you are considered an alumni with us, and you receive a 10% discount off your tuition. For federal government employees, we are a part of the Federal Academic Alliance with OPM, and we actually extend a 10% discount to federal government employees. For as long as you are an employee of the federal government, you will receive a 10% discount on your tuition for all of our programs. We also have a 10% discount for EdAssist. EdAssist is an organization that works with agencies in regards to their tuition assistance program. So if your agency is a part of the EdAssist program, you actually let us know by giving us a letter of credit from the EdAssist program. Specifically, Blue Horizon is one that most of the agencies use. So we will get a letter of credit from them and we will update your account and you will be able to use the 10% discount for EdAssist. And that really concludes our tuition and funding options. Registering for the program is open enrollment, so there is no application required. A bachelor's degree or equivalent is required. If you have not completed your bachelor's degree, you will contact the enrollment team and we will discuss options for you. So please do not be discouraged. If you do not have a bachelor's degree, we do have options that will help you register for the program. And you visit the URL here, and like Jeffrey stated earlier, I will be sending a copy of this presentation out to everyone, so you will be able to click on these links to view the website and to get more information and how to register. You will click register now, and for new students, you will have to set up your student account in our non-credit student portal, and it's very self-explanatory. It's not very difficult, and you'll be able to set that up. You will get your credentials, which is your net ID, and you will set up your password, and then you will actually log into our system to continue on with registration. Trust me, it's very self-explanatory. It's not a hard process at all. But if you ever have any issues, our enrollment team is always available to assist. Course registration is completed when your payment is processed. So if you are paying with credit card, you can pay right at the time of registration. If you decide to do anything other than paying with credit card, you would select options to checkout, and our student accounts will work with you, and everything will be processed once everything has been set up. And here is an actual copy of what your certificate will look like once you've completed the Digital Marketing Strategy Bootcamp. This certificate will be sent to you. You will have to go into your account and actually request your certificate. It goes through an audit process for your grade, as well as a financial audit, just to make sure that everything is clear before you can receive your certificate. But this is actually what the certificate looks like. You have the beautiful Georgetown seal, and it's 8.5 by 10. So if you want to frame it and put it on your wall, you are more than welcome. Registration is open now. You can go in and register at this time. Again, the class begins for spring 2022, January 14th, 2022. And you see, for more information, you can contact our enrollment team. This information, our email, and our telephone. And so with that, I am going to look at some questions because I saw that we had some questions and I will work with my panel to answer your questions. First question, do you think this bootcamp will be useful for nonprofit professionals? Digital fundraising and digital organizing are different than marketing, but it seems like there is some overlap. Or is this primarily a private sector professionals?
I'll answer that. Absolutely. It has relevance. When we designed the curriculum, given that we're in Washington, we looked at the essential strategies, knowledge that would be employed across economic sectors. So yes, if you are fundraising, if you're reaching out and developing a database of potential donors, and you want to use that database again to reach out and get them in a funding program, our CMM module is really important. The 10 strategies that I spoke about, these are basic strategic plans that are relevant, again, across all economic sectors. Module 1 gives you that foundational knowledge. In fact, let me tell you about the instructors for this. The first instructor is Stephanie Scherholtz. Stephanie is a spokesperson for NASA. So she comes to us from the federal government. Rich Toohey, who teaches CRM, also teaches at several other universities, is a private consultant, and he has also worked with nonprofit and NGOs. Sasha Balakamda, who teaches the strategy and capstone at the end, is currently involved in an agency whose clients include profit, nonprofits, and NGOs. So to answer your question, oh, and excuse me, Google Analytics is taught by Melanie Bender. Melanie works at a museum in Baltimore, a nonprofit, and her position at that nonprofit museum is Director of Digital Marketing. So not only is the curriculum focused across economic sectors, but your instructors are coming and bringing their experiences in from nonprofits, profits, as well as some federal agencies.
Thank you, Jeff. That was the only question we actually had. Are there any more questions?
I'd like to just address something, because at one point in my life, numerous decades ago, I was thinking about going back to school as a professional learner. And there were a lot of considerations I had. I had a full-time job, had a family, I was very active in the community. And so there were a lot of questions. Do I have the time? Is it worth it? What am I going to study? Where am I going to study? And how am I going to differentiate my time and investment? So these are questions that many of you may be sitting there over lunch hour thinking about. So as you look at the Georgetown program, and as you look at many of our other programs that are available to you, again, I think it's important that you look at the quality and the attention to support services. Again, small class size, maximum of 24 students. The faculty actively engaged in digital marketing strategy. The curriculum that has been highly researched that would directly align your skills and competencies to the job market. I can assure you, and I'll defer here to Stuart and Lindsay, but if you're sitting in a job interview, at least one of the questions that I always got was, tell us, how do you solve difficult problems? Well, I can guarantee you there's probably no other program where integral to the curriculum, you have Stuart Brown telling you, and you can say, I can tell you how I solve difficult problems, and this is how I do it. So you will be well prepared to answer that question. And then Lindsay Thomas, I think we are one of the few non-credit professional education programs in the country that has dedicated career services just to support your goals. So as you sit there today and you think about, I know I need to build my resume. This is going to take time. This is going to take some effort. Who do I choose? Where do I go? And I think when you look at those differentiating factors, you will choose Georgetown. And I'll defer to my colleagues, Stuart and Lindsay, on that question.
Okay, thank you, Jeff. There's no question that what we do in Thinking to Thrive is applicable to almost every part of the human endeavor, particularly the organizational part, but it also goes into the personal. Our goal in a nutshell is to help our students think about how they think so that they make better decisions and understand better why the guy on the other side of the table is making those decisions. These are skills that you can take with you. These are processes and tools that are readily usable. I mean, we can sit around on Saturday and do our hour and 15 minutes, and on Saturday afternoon, you can use what you learned. This is real-time, good stuff. I wish, frankly, somebody taught me this earlier in my career. We had to come to this by trial and error. It's a great course, and it matches up directly with the other half of the boot camp. When you're putting together your strategies, when you're making decisions about who goes first, who goes second, you're making decisions about resourcing, you're making decisions about people, processes, tools, money, all of that, we will help you use better processes so you make better decisions. It's a good deal. And then, of course, we got Lindsay Thomas, and believe me, that's a winner. Lindsay.
Thank you. And I absolutely agree. I think that Thinking to Thrive component is so important because many digital marketing interviews, they focus on those behavioral questions where they're asking you, how would you solve this problem, or how have you solved a similar problem in the past? And so being able to clearly articulate your thought process and your actions and the results that came from that is incredibly helpful and persuasive as you're interviewing, and you certainly get a lot of skills for those interviews in Stuart's class. And I do, working with students and seeing what they've gone on to do after graduation, I do think, it's a wonderful program because you can apply what you're learning directly, to the work that you're currently doing. And you can also use that if you're looking to make that switch. I think as Jeff and Stuart have mentioned, it's direct, the skills you're learning are directly related to what employers are looking for in digital marketing positions. So that makes my job very easy. I just, make sure that you have those skill sets and that you're able to talk through them for the application and interview process as you're looking for new positions. So I hope to meet all of you in the next boot camp.
So, Shawnee, any more questions from our attendees this over lunch hour?
We do not have any more questions. I think you all provided a wealth of information, and I think everyone is pleased with your information. So we don't have any more questions at this time. However, I will allow you guys to have some last thoughts if you wanted to share something with our audience before we conclude the webinar.
Just one last thought. We live in the age of knowledge, and you need to really be a continuous learner to be competitive. The time and effort that you put into earning a Georgetown credential, no one can take that from you. It's unlike a car that rusts or a house that needs a new roof or whatever. Your educational credential becomes part of you. It's what you know. And in today's world, what you know is really the key to success. Thank you, Shawnee. Stuart?
All I got to say is this is the edge. I've been a consultant, I've been a banker, I've been a military officer, I've run companies, and it's always about the edge. This is the edge. This is good for you. Come see us.
And I agree with all of that. And I think Georgetown has a wonderful reputation, and it's a good name to have on your materials. And it's also a wonderful network to be a part of as you're looking to make those connections in class and outside of class with our alumni.
Thank you all so much. And thank you to everybody that joined us today. Again, I hope that this information we provided for you was enough for you to go in and register for the program today. We hope to see you all. Thank you so much. Thank you, Jeff, Stewart, and Lindsay for a fabulous presentation. And again, thank you guys for joining us, and we hope you can enjoy the rest of your afternoon. Wait a second. We may have another question. Okay. As an agency owner, my interviews are with the client directly. In order to stay sharp and competitive, I need principles that I can duplicate across various industries. Real world application is what I'm looking for. That's wonderful.
Yes, and in each of the modules that you will be studying, you will be looking at case studies. In fact, in that third module with Rich Toohey, I believe he does 3 case studies, which involves real world industries that you can examine. But at the end of the day, what I really like, if you need to take out of this certificate something that you can apply to your clients, and that's the simulation. Our simulation really gives you the practical experience to test those strategies before you apply them to your clients. You know, if you were a pilot for American or United Airlines or whoever, you would go into a simulator and test your skills. If you were a surgeon at Georgetown Hospital, you may go in and use a simulator, or in the nursing school to learn how to better treat patients. Well, in this program, we have a simulator that at the end of the day, you take everything that you've learned to test your knowledge to see what works and what doesn't work. And I've always said to my students, you will learn more from not what doesn't work than what does. Because if something doesn't work in your simulator, you can correct it. And then you can apply that into a real world situation. So I think the 12 weeks at Georgetown are intensive. You will be in a classroom, in a global classroom, and you will be in a room with 4 practitioners, faculty members from currently in industry. So I would think that I will know that from that experience, you will take frameworks that you can apply to your clients.
Thank you, Jeff. So that was our last question. Um, Again, thank you all for joining us. And I'm going to conclude the webinar, and I hope everyone can enjoy the rest of their afternoon. Thank you.
Have a good day, Shawnee. Stuart, Lindsay, take care.